Hi, and welcome to our virtual boat show. Today we are with Jason Benedict from Mercury Marine and our service team, Nick Martin and Alex Berg. So welcome, guys, and I'll have our service team take over and ask Jason some questions about Mercury.
All right, thank you very much, Lauren. Well, Jason, thanks for joining us here. And why don't you tell us a little bit of the history of Mercury and what makes Mercury so special?
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate the time today. So Mercury is a very unique company. Started in 1939 in Cedarburg, Wisconsin by Mr. Carl Kiekefer. So Carl, when he bought a little factory in Cedarburg, wanted to be in the magnetic separation business for the dairy industry. When he bought the factory, he had about 300 of these little small outboards that were sitting in the factory, and he needed to raise some capital. So he reached Montgomery Wards and said, "Hey, if I fix these things up, make them run right, will you buy them?" And they said, "Sure, why not?" They bought the 300, they loved them, ordered a lot more, and as they say, the rest is history. So Carl started an outboard company, Mercury Marine. Well, originally Kiekefer Marine, and then eventually became Mercury Marine. And then in 1961, Mercury was acquired by the Brunswick Corporation, which is who is our parent corporation today. Mercury is part of Brunswick. We're about a $6 billion publicly traded company under the symbol BC. Mercury has about 15,000 employees worldwide. So we are headquartered in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, but we have manufacturing facilities and employees all over the world, including Japan, China, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, and on all of Europe. So we're not just a propulsion company, though, not just an outboard company. Of course, we're a cruiser, the stern drive business, an inboard business, but we're actually part of a systems manufacturing company. So we're not just the outboard business, but we encompass all the systems that are included in the boat, including steering systems, including water systems, including all sorts of other systems, integration, part of the boat itself.
Gotcha. Yeah, you mentioned integration, and Alex and I do work on these boats day in and day out. And are there any products that you guys are really proud of that you have built from the ground up?
So some of the most recent innovation that we're extremely proud of course, is our joystick piloting for outboards. Mm-hmm. So one of the challenges in boating, obviously, is when you come upon a dock, is depending on the wind and the water and the current, and of course, you're pulling up to, let's say, a restaurant dock, and there's 30 or 40 people sitting right there dockside having dinner, is making sure that when you dock the boat, you look like a professional. You want to be able to dock that boat safely, comfortably, and set it right into the dock. And of course, the challenge is because of all those conditions, it's not always the easiest. So we decided to create a system, joystick piloting for outboards, that now independently articulates the outboards and the steering system itself via a joystick, and can now actuate that boat in any direction it needs to, whether it needs to go right, left, forward, back, or a diagonal angle. That boat can do that all via a joystick. So when we unveiled this several years ago, we unveiled it on Miami, and we had a young gal, she was about a 10-year-old girl, took a 40-foot boat and professionally brought it right into its slip. It showed everybody that this is what we want to do. We want to make boating more enjoyable because we want to make it easier, and we want to make it more forgiving. We want to make it so that you don't have to be the best boater in the world to operate that boat comfortably and safely on the waterways.
Absolutely. The joystick is actually pretty phenomenal. We do a lot of boat deliveries and handovers down here, and it's kind of funny. The younger generations seem to pick up on the joystick a lot faster than previous boat owners that are used to the twin stick and the bow thruster. It's almost
a little game.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's a little counterintuitive for some of the old school boaters, but as it takes a couple days to get used to, but it is absolutely phenomenal, and you can put that boat just about anywhere you want to, which we really like.
And Nick, you mentioned the bow thruster, so that's a great thing that the joystick opportunity has presented itself. It in essence takes the position, obviously, it takes away from needing the requirements of a bow thruster, and it also even takes away the requirements of needing a separate autopilot system, because the joystick piloting for outboards has autopilot integrated into the system itself. So it wasn't just about being able to dock the boat, it was about being able to have other features that you formerly couldn't do, such as the integrated autopilot. It also has a skyhook, which of course is a centering position where you can just push the button and the boat will hold itself within its own diameter. It's waypoint tracking. It is now, we have even and a few other features we've now designed into that system, which formerly before couldn't be done or had to be done via a very experienced captain. And so we've brought that down to where making that comfort level, not just the experienced captain, but maybe a little bit of an inexperienced captain to be able to do those same things.
So how long until we don't have steering wheels on boats here?
Well, it's funny you say that. Obviously, same thing, Mercury we're an engineering centric company. So that's where we start. And we want to make sure that we're at the forefront of the marine industry. About 2 years ago, I want to say, and I hope I'm right on the timeline, we did announce a project we were working with MIT on autonomous docking. So that is same thing. If you think of what the automotive industry has done, we see what they do and we say, hey, why can't we do that into boating? Why can't that be introduced into boating? And so that's what we're looking at is same thing, just trying to make boating more convenient and easier for everyone, to make it more enjoyable. We want to be able to make that time. The time is valuable on the water. We look at it as time with friends and family, and we want to take the burden or the hassle out of boating and make it much more convenient and easy. So yes, there are things like that, or those projects are in the works, and obviously somewhere down the line it will become available.
And you mentioned how friendly you guys make it to the customer. We do a lot of maintenance on these boats, and Mercs are very easy to get to a lot of the access, the fill points to check oil, the whole 9 yards. You guys even print the maintenance schedule on the side of the motor, which is incredibly helpful if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But from a tech standpoint, we are incredibly happy with what you guys have been doing. For us, we can go down and plug in a computer and wirelessly connect to someone at Mercury through our system, and they take control of our computer and just ask us to turn up the RPMs, and they give us live feedback on what needs to be done to that motor, if it's having a problem or something is just acting not right. So it's instantaneous feedback, and that helps us from the tech side to return your boat to you very, very quickly.
And a lot of that too, Nick, is we use VOC, or voice of the customer. And so when we talk about voice of the customer, yes, a lot of it is the actual consumer that's operating those vessels. So that's where those features come into play. Like you said, the convenience of the ease of the oil change. So we unveiled our new V6 and V8 product line about 2 years ago at the Miami Boat Show. It was a lot of that was derived from the voice of the customer. And the consumer said, hey, why do I have to pull off my entire cowling just to check the oil in my boat before I go out for the day? And we said, that's a great question. So what we did is, in our V6 and V8 platform, we instituted an oil check door on the top of the cowling, where you pop open the little door, you pull the dipstick out, you check the oil, and if you have to add the fill is right there on top, you can add a little bit of oil. Another thing was the cowling itself, like you said, to change the oil. Why do I have to take up the cowling, and why do I have to take up the chaps, and why do I have to do all these extra steps just to change the oil? So on our new V6 V8 platform, we started using an external oil drain. So we'd have a hose, and we have a valve right there, and we can drain the oil without having to remove all the midsection as well. So the other part, of course, driven from the voice of the customer, was the dealer network, such as yourselves. And the dealer said, hey, obviously technology is increasing and the complexity is increasing, and we stay trained, we go to school, but it's really hard to be an all-encompassing expert when you've obviously got a lot of other responsibilities at a marina and a dealership. Not only do you probably work on the engines, but you might work on the systems. You might work on an air conditioning system, you might work on a bathroom system. So we needed an opportunity to be able to work more directly with you, the technicians, to help diagnose those problems. And that's exactly what we did, was created that interface system now where you plug into that engine. We can see basically the diagnostics that you're seeing, and we can work real time together to try to fix that problem and get the customer back out on the water.
Yeah, it's really a time saver and a money saver for that customer as well. For example, this morning we plugged in and ran a boat for 10 minutes and sent away the diagnostics, and you guys had an answer for us within 2 hours, which is absolutely phenomenal. And that allowed us to go step away and do other jobs that we needed to do on other customers' boats while it's being diagnosed on your side. And that's really, really helpful from a consumer standpoint when it comes to the wallet in that aspect. But what does Mercury have down the road? Are you guys allowed to talk about any of that, or is it all these boats keep getting bigger and bigger and the whole 9 yards? But it's I know you're a publicly traded company, you guys. Yeah.
And that's just part of it. Obviously, we are always working on new products. No doubt about it. a while back, we had made a statement that roughly every 6 weeks, we try to bring a new product to market. Now, that product may not be an engine. It may be as simple as a control, a switch, it may be a very simplistic new product, but our goal has always been every 6 weeks to bring a new product to market. And we'll continue to do that. As boats evolve and they get larger and the demand changes, obviously Mercury is going to evolve with them. So we will definitely be coming out with new product in the future.
I mean, it seems like a lot of these boats are starting to really hedge towards outboards versus inboards. Is Mercury trying to stay in line with that as well and switching from some of the inboards to more outboards?
So Mercury has definitely balanced its portfolio. Obviously, we have always been a very strong inboard stern drive producer as well. But definitely we understand the market and the need towards outboards. And that is why if you look at our most recent portfolio changes, the majority of that has been the outboard development. So we're definitely in tune with that, and we understand the demands of the customers, the OEMs, and our dealers, and we're going to continue to stay on top of that.
Excellent. Not bad. I mean, we absolutely love working with Mercury and the whole company as a whole. Being techs, it makes life really easy.
A lot easier. Yes, very much so.
And we appreciate that, guys. Like I said, we as the world's largest leader in propulsion, one of the things that Mercury, like I said, we are a systems manufacturer, but at the end of the day, everything we do is designed around the marine industry and our customers, and whether it be our dealers, our OEMs, or our consumers, that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, from a tech standpoint, you can really tell when something's engineered from an engineer's perspective and not from aesthetics. So we really appreciate that, even though the engines are beautiful and the whole 9 yards, but from a tech standpoint, they are really well designed and very easily accessible. So,
right.
Anything else you want to add, Jason?
I don't think so. I think, like I said, I really appreciate the time today. I'm glad we get the opportunity to talk, and the successful dock show there, obviously with the changes of COVID and the Annapolis Boat Show being canceled. And, the big thing we get to tell everybody is boating's not canceled though. That's the greatest thing, because it's a great social endeavor, a great way to social distance, still a great way to enjoy family time. So that's the biggest thing we remind everybody is boating's not canceled. It's definitely a time to enjoy.
I'd say it's thriving at the moment. The industry is swamped, to say the least.
Yep.
I mean, for example, down at our dock right now, I think we have 400 Murados lined up next to each other. It's quite a pretty sight, to say the least. So, not too bad. But I think we're going to check in with Lauren and see if anyone on Facebook had any questions.
No questions at this time, guys. Thank you so much for all your help.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Jason. Thank you, Lauren. And we appreciate you guys joining in with us on Facebook Live.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. Thanks,
Have a good
Jason.
afternoon.